All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the K and
Oh, show.
all right, here we go. Apologize last week. We missed. I didn't have Big O with me, so I did not do the show. We just got a little too busy around work and doing other stuff. But we are back. A lot to cover. Me and Owen will try not to talk about the UK U of L game. It happened over a week ago because it was not good for UK. U of L did about what they wanted to, and UK looked like they had checked out for the season. That's just honestly what I thought. What do you think, Big O?
Yeah.
High hopes that Cutter Bowley came in. Looks like he'll be the quarterback for the future. Athletic kid. I think he'll be pretty good, but they've got to get him some offensive line help, don't you think, Big O? So, had a lot of good games. Georgia went into 8 overtimes with Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
So that was a really exciting game. And then they've got to turn around. They come back this week and they've got to play, Texas in a conference championship. So first thing we'll start off with from this weekend, which was crazy weekend. It was deciding where you're going to get put in the college football playoff bracket if you had a chance to make it. So win your conference and you're pretty much in. That was, that's the scenario. Up first on a Friday night, Boise State, UNLV, Big O, your boy. Quick question before we start this. Is Genty still your Heisman Trophy winner, or you going Travis Hunter?
I'm going to say Genty.
Genty, sticking with him. So my takeaway from that game was defense. Man, I was impressed. Boise State's defense holding UNLV to 7 points, keeping them out of the end zone the whole night, flying around with the football, doing a lot of stuff. And now Ashton Genty and that offense will get all the credit, all the hype, and all the love. But you hold a team to 7 points, you've done something. No, it was miserable conditions, really cold out there. But what did Ashton Genty have on the ground, Big O?
209.
209. He had, 30-something, 32,
yeah.
something like that, attempts. And a touchdown. So he had one big, really electric run that sparked him. But Boise came out of that, and then they win the Mountain West Conference. We'll see how they get rewarded. But pretty good little game. Very impressed with that Boise defense. Moving on, unfortunately, neither one of these teams will be in the playoff. Army and Tulane played for the American Conference title. Army just smashed them. Big O loved the stat of Bryson Daly, who had, how much was his passing, Big O?
He had 2 and 2. Wait, was he
2 and 2 for 17 yards? Yeah.
Okay.
So he was effective, completing 100% of his passes, so that's pretty good. 335 yards on the ground for Army, too much for Tulane. And Army, I think, am I right, Big O? They got one loss to Notre Dame, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that loss to Notre Dame, kind of is going to hurt them and keep them out. So they won't obviously make the playoff, but man, what a great run for Army. And next weekend we've got Army-Navy game. So that'll be a lot of fun. If you've not seen the uniforms for those, check them out. They're incredible. Really, really nice. Next game we watched yesterday, O and I were watching Arizona State, Iowa State while we were at Hooters, and we meant to get coverage, and we was going to do some actual live reporting from there, but we didn't get to. Owen was too distracted. We'll just say that. Anyways, Arizona State, Iowa State, and Big O, what would you think on that game?
That Scatterbill, I think he's a really underrated running back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He was absolutely on fire. The quarterback was on fire. The defense was good. I mean, 45-19. It was wasn't even close, was it, Big O?
No, not really.
We're sitting there, and Iowa State just couldn't get anything going. It was just a great day for Arizona State. Hats off to Coach Dillingham. He's come in. He's only like 11 years old or something. I mean, he's younger than Big O coaching this team. He's the youngest Division I head coach right now, I think. And he has come in, and, man, they were picked what in their conference, Big O, for preseason?
Yeah, they were picked last.
Dead last, 16th, and they win the Big 12. So they will more than likely get a college football playoff spot. So big game last night. Everybody eyes on, especially if you're in the South. Georgia versus Texas. Before the game started, Big O, who'd you think was going to win?
Georgia.
Thought Georgia was still going to win
Because
it?
they won last time, so.
Well, and see, I went the other way. I thought Texas might get them because Georgia did win the last time. I thought they'd change some stuff around, and they did. Watching the game yesterday, it was an old school fight. I mean, it was just back and forth, back and forth. But to me, and tell me if you saw the same thing, Big O, I felt like from the 20-yard line to the 20-yard line, Texas could move the ball at will.
Yeah.
They were just up and down the field, but then when they got in the red zone, they stalled. And how many misses did the kicker have?
2.
2.
Which is
6 points left on the board that probably would have sealed that. Would have made it a different ball game. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Can't really think about those things. Georgia just outlasted Texas. Really incredible half of football. Hats off to, help me out here.
Gunnar Stockton.
Stockton. Hats off to that kid. Comes in as a backup quarterback in one of the biggest games, SEC championship. How do you think he played, Big O?
Better than Beck did.
Honestly, you're right. Yeah. Had more yards.
Well, Beck did get injured, so.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't playing very well up until then. And so now Beck did have to come in on his last play, did the handoff. They get the touchdown in overtime and win it. So that one goes into overtime. So Georgia really is looking forward to these next couple weeks being off. If you listen to his pregame interview or postgame interview, he took a little jab at the SEC commissioner and talked about how hard their schedule was. So and it was. I thought it was a brutal schedule, didn't you, Big O?
Yeah.
They were playing all over the place. Clemson, SMU, Big O. Who do you think's going to win that one before it took off?
I thought it was SMU.
Thought SMU too. I wanted SMU to win, but I felt like Dabo's he's been in this situation. He's won so many ACC championship games. He's been here. He's done it. And that first half, Big O, what do you think's going to happen? It's 21 or 28-7. I can't remember. Maybe 24. 24-7.
Clemson was blowing them out in all 2 quarters. First half, then second half, SMU bounced back, tied it up, and made a horrible mistake by letting a kick returner get to the 50, to the 40.
Yeah.
And then Clemson completes like a 10-yard pass.
Yeah.
And so it was
Basically,
a 56-yard field goal.
56-yard field goal, and they had this game. It was going to go into overtime. And like Big O said, they kick off. They didn't get it all the way in the end. And why this kid didn't kick it out of the end zone, or he may have tried to, and it just didn't make it. But kudos to this kid. He brought it out and got it out to the, like Owen said, almost to the 50. It was like the 45. And then they throw a little 10-yard pass, and the kid got some extra yards, put them not exactly in comfortable range, but range enough that they hit it, and Clemson wins the ACC, and now SMU seeing if they're going to get in. That's what kind of happens. It was a crazy game because you saw SMU, what their potential is. You wish you'd have seen that 4 quarters and not 1, right, Big O?
Yeah.
Fourth quarter, I felt like that was the SMU team I'd seen play all year. The Jennings kid, their quarterback's dynamic. But Clemson, just old school defense, hard-nosed running, gritty, tough play. I can't stand Dabo, but man, I love the way his teams play. I like. I just can't stand to hear him talk. Probably because I'm an FSU fan. That's probably why. But so we're gonna move on now. Me and Big O is gonna give you a quick rundown of the bracket. It just came out. We were waiting to kind of see where everything panned out to. You got it on yours? I don't know what's happening to mine. Here we go. I got it. All right. So you got yours up, Big O? Big O, who is? So let's start at 12 and we'll work our way up. And I don't know why we do that, because your top 4. Well, your top 4 could have been a little bit anybody. So Nick Saban just said a minute ago, if strength of schedule doesn't matter, then why schedule hard games if it doesn't matter? And you're going to see when we start going through this bracket, what we're talking about, because some of these teams that got in didn't have quite the road to get there as some of these other teams that are getting left out. So that'll be your call, your decision. We'll give you our opinion. We'll go from there. Let's go with Big O. You want to do our top? Let's start with our top four. Let's start with number 1 to 4. Who we got?
Number 1's Oregon.
Of course, they're 13-0, win Big Ten.
Number 2's Georgia.
Georgia 10-2, winning the SEC championship.
Here's what surprised me. Number 3, Boise State, which is
surprising because their strength of schedule. Is that what you're thinking?
yeah,
Nick
Saban said.
Their strength of schedule is not, they're bad. Their loss is to Oregon, who's number 1.
34-37.
And remember, Boise State had them, and it took 2 kickoff returns by Oregon for them to end up winning them with a walk-off field goal. So Boise's tough. They've got the number 1 team on the ropes at their house. This wasn't at Boise. This was at Oregon. So who's our number 4?
Number 4 is Scatterboo in Arizona State.
Arizona State. Now, does that surprise you, Big O, there at 4?
I know they're going to be in there in the bracket, but I didn't think they're going to be high.
Well, we didn't think that because we were thinking some of the other elites or somebody would get that, but you've got to look at they won their conference. They won the Big 12. So the Big 12, the ACC, the Big 10. So there's 4 it's going to get a bye, and then your 5th, is the one that gets in. So who is our 5th?
The 5th one is Texas.
Texas is number 5, and they've got to play who?
Clemson, number 12.
Clemson wow. What do you think about that matchup? So while we're on this, let's just go ahead. Big O, who you picking? Clemson, Texas.
Clemson.
Picking Clemson over Texas. Whoa.
Yeah, I don't think.
Big O said horns down.
I don't think Texas is that good, honestly. I know they're top 5 right now, or top 6.
But I
don't think they're that good.
I don't know if they've got I don't know on their wins. I have to go back and look, but I don't think it's not really that impressive. So now we've got number 6.
Number 6 is Penn State.
Boo.
Against number 11 SMU.
All right, so if you follow our show any, me and Big O are not Penn State fans. We think they're phonies. I've yet to figure out why they got they play in the Big Ten, which, other than 4 or 5 teams in the Big Ten, it's soft. I mean, it's not very good. I also said this about the ACC. I think it's probably the weakest it's been in years. But Penn State, their loss is to Ohio State, and then they do make it into the game, and they did make it a game last night. But me and Big O aren't sold on Penn State, and they're going to take on SMU.
Yeah.
Who wins that one?
I'm going to say Penn State, since their defense is kind of good.
Hey, listen, Abdul Carter is he's a big problem. Man, that kid, number 11 for Penn State. If you've not seen him play this year and you like defense, prepare yourself because he is a joy to watch. SMU and Penn State, I'm hoping SMU can get that win because then, and this is no disrespect to Boise State at all, but if Penn State wins, then they've got Boise State, which I'm just going to call it. Boise State out of those top 4 is probably the weakest team. But I could be completely wrong. We've been proven wrong before with that. Years ago, Boise State, Oklahoma playing in a big bowl game. Boise State pulls off upset. You never know what's going to happen there. But SMU could still beat Penn State. Well, let's pray for that, Big O. We got number what now? 7?
Number 7, Notre Dame versus number 10, Indiana.
Oh, man. Battle of the Hoosier State right there.
I got Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Taking Notre Dame. Well, that's an interesting matchup, and I tell you, that's a toss-up. Now, that winner gets Georgia.
Yeah.
that might be lucky for them, depending on where is Carson Beck's arm going to be at. So what if Carson Beck is hurt, okay, and can't come back and play? The winner of that Notre Dame Indiana game playing them, do they have an advantage?
Georgia has other playmakers besides just their quarterback.
Yep.
Stockton.
The backup quarterback.
He's not bad, but as you could see, he threw a late interception, which almost killed them.
Yeah.
But they got the ball back.
Yeah, I didn't want to harp on that too much, but that Georgia, I was really upset. The play calling for Georgia, they're late. They could have got a field goal and ran time off the clock, and then would have forced. I think they would have been up by 6, and that would have forced Texas after drive down and get a touchdown. And instead, they call a pass play, and this kid just throws a really bad interception. And I said earlier. Owen's my proof, and when he got in, I said this kid's going to make a mistake. You know, when you put in fresh meat like that, they make mistakes. And this kid, he made that mistake, but it eventually worked out for him, but could have really cost him. All right, now we're going to what, 8?
Yeah, 8 is Ohio State versus Tennessee. Is number 9.
Wow, that might be my favorite matchup on that whole thing. Tennessee's got a brutal defense. Ohio State's got a good defense. Who's got the better offense, Big O? Ohio State or Tennessee?
I'm gonna say Tennessee. Their running back.
They do got a good. Samson is a good. They've got a really good running game. I'm gonna have to go Ohio State on that. I've said it all year. I picked them at the first of the year to win it all. They just get beat by Michigan. Everyone's calling for Ryan Day's head. They're going to have several weeks off to fix some stuff. They've also got several weeks off to soak in that you got beat by Michigan again, and everybody in the country is on you right now. You're the best money or the best talent money can buy, and you're not producing. Everybody hates your coach. The world is against Ohio State coming into this thing, so we'll see how they respond. We'll see if it's going to be good or bad. Going to our last one right there, we've got number.
I think that's it.
Was that it? We already do that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did 8 and 9. Yep, that was it. Sorry. I was hoping for more teams. I don't know why we don't do 16, but hey. Not really sure if I agree with all this. Now, here's our blaring. There's 2 glaring things to me. Alabama's left out. Miami's left out. South Carolina's left out. Okay? So Miami's lost 2 games, but they have no top 25 wins. Alabama has top 25 wins, but they beat Georgia, who's sitting there at number 2. But they lost to Vandy, and they lost to Oklahoma really bad, and they probably should have lost to South Carolina, if we're being honest. They probably should have lost that South Carolina game. So, should Alabama have been in over SMU?
No.
Nope. Okay. Well, SMU's got the 1 loss. You go back to your strength of schedule. The problem I have with Alabama is yes, their strength of schedule's way worse than SMU's, because I've just said the ACC I think is weak. But they've also got bad losses. Vandy was way better this year, but you still lost to Vandy for the first time in, what was it, Big O? 200 years or something?
Like 56.
Yeah. And you lost to Oklahoma, and your offense was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, and you did beat Georgia, but you almost lost to Georgia, right? Like they had to do a big comeback. So, Miami, I don't think deserves in after losing to Syracuse. You don't deserve in. Their one best win was what, against Florida early? Big O.
Louisville.
They beat Louisville, but
Probably.
they beat. Florida was their biggest win, probably. But they lost to Georgia Tech, which Georgia Tech's a good team. So I don't think Miami should have been in. Honestly, I don't see anybody on here that's, that probably shouldn't be in. Yes, there's going to be griping, and Bama fans are going to be going nuts over this, but I feel like it's going to be a fun playoff bracket. It's the first year for it. You know, maybe they'll get it, cleared up a little bit more so people be a little more satisfied. But all right, Big O, who wins it? Who wins this bracket? Who's going to be our next national champ?
I'm just gonna say Oregon.
Oregon at number 1, and I think, don't check my facts. This is an Owen fact here. The last 3 out of 4 years, the favorite has won the national championship. So Oregon, I think, is favorite. I'd have to look at the odds. Well, Vegas will have the odds up, and we'll see who the favorite is. But Oregon is number 1, so obviously they're kind of the favorite. They're also undefeated to win it, so that's a pretty solid one. I'm going to stick with the Suckeyes and say they are going to pull this out. We're going to find out if they do or they don't. You know, if they win their first game, then you're thrown right into the mix and have to beat Oregon. So then they've got to go back and play Oregon, and I think that'll be at Oregon. Pretty sure on that, right, Big O?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think the worst seed goes to the best, right?
yeah, it is. All right, so now that we're done with that, real quick, Big O, give us a recap of Gonzaga UK basketball last night.
The happiest I've been in a while. I may have cried at halftime, but
So take us through that. What happened? Were they, losing pretty bad?
yeah, they were losing by 16. They were down by 20 at a point in the first half. But Mark Pope is just a great coach, and he saw what Gonzaga did. He went to his zone, and rest is history.
So let me ask you this: does Cal win that game?
No.
No.
In the huddle, he would just say, "Go have fun." So,
Go have fun. That's not really coaching, is it?
no.
Okay. So you're pretty happy so far with Pope?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is it true or not true? Wednesday night you're going to watch the Cats play.
It's true.
All right. So are you happy about that?
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right. So there will be no peace in this house until after April, and that's if UK makes it all the way to April. But I'll need prayers and thoughts for me because I live with 2 absolute fanatical UK fans that lose their mind, and I also am with a woman that's an absolute downright liar. She just lies all the time. I'm not staying up for this 10 o'clock game. At 1 o'clock in the morning, I hear a scream.
Who's in the house tonight, UK?
That's what you hear at 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning. But let me remind you, not staying up for this game. It's too late. So I'm going to need some prayers because this is going to be a long season. I'm just hoping the Cats keep winning because right now, look at this face. Look at this face right here. Look at that face. That's a cute face right there. That is the face of a happy UK fan. I'm not a UK fan, but boy, is this house a lot easier to get around whenever they're doing this. So, also, we are sorry, Elizabeth. I know that you're going to be furious today about Alabama not getting in, especially with their strength of schedule, and you're going to see 10 teams that shouldn't be in over Alabama, and we understand. Me and Owen do understand. So we hope you can get over it and move on and get ready for next year. So, all right, that's it for us. We'll be back soon. Big O is going to start opening up and doing his college basketball shows here pretty soon. So you guys have a great one.